This video is about how we scaled a brand from zero to nearly $250,000 within the first few months of working with them through Facebook ads. And we was running their TikTok, Google, Pinterest, and a few other mediums like Snapchat. But Facebook ads was the core one that allowed us to do that. I'm just going to go for a bunch of stuff in this video on how we done it and the main stuff that you need if you want to do it for your clients or if you want to do it for your own brand, essentially. And the first thing is have good product market fit, good branding, and good content. If you don't have those three things, we simply refuse to work with any brand. If you're half-arsing, going in all in on the branding, the website, because you just want to start running ads and making money, it's pointless because you ain't going to make any money. So you need to make sure you have the first core three things in place. That's good branding. So making sure you're understanding your values of the brand, you know exactly who your audience is going to convert to in terms of like what fonts, what coloring, the aesthetic and stuff like that. So you're actually building trust with the consumer, and you want to make the product look expensive. Even if it's a cheap product, you want to make it look more expensive because that gives you a better opportunity to increase your conversion rate, essentially. So good branding, so like your website and stuff. Good content. Content is king. You want to make sure you have several segments of content, so like UGC content, creator content, which is kind of basically UGC, good website content, studio content, iPhone shots, a bunch of other stuff. It depends on what part of the whole funnel the content is going to. So I'm going the same sort of funnel pots, but the main ones are you want to have good website content because that helps with the branding and the trust of the website when they land. So when you are running that traffic to your website, they can see what it looks like within professional taken like studio where it looks nice and aesthetic, and you can also have some professional taken shots on there that where they can visualize their product essentially in terms of coloring, sizing, etc. And then you want to make sure you have good content for the ads. Content is king when it comes to the ads. If you don't have good content with your ads, you won't have any performance, especially nowadays. Like a lot of the audience targeting is heavily done with AI on Facebook if you've got a lot of data. So you need to be focusing on what creatives are going to convert all of these customers, all of these audience groups within to customers, essentially. That's the only way you can make money is by having good content. Hence why when we work with clients, we tell them what type of content we need for their brand specific and what the audience is going to convert to. We test it, we test angles, we test hooks, we test a bunch of different stuff, and we feedback all of the data consistently over monthly periods on what's working well this month, what's not, and the plans and stuff like that. So when they do their monthly shoots, we can basically get good content straight off the bat that we know is going to convert instantly. One trick that you can do, and we do it with a lot of brands we start off with, is we like to analyze all of their data. So we look at their highest engaged photo on Instagram, and then obviously exclude the ones that are boosted, and then whatever one done well organically, we'll use as an ad. If you want a UGC video, we'll do the same thing for the Instagram Reels, and then we also look at their TikTok. If their TikTok is doing well, or there's like, it's not doing well, whatever video done the best in terms of views organically, you want to be using those as ads because they're lowest hanging fruit. And then you also want to make sure you're focused on that. That brings me to another point with lowest hanging fruit. Once you focus on those lowest hanging fruit, you want to be focusing on the best sellers. And then you can identify within that organic review of what done well organically, which piece of content with this product done the best, essentially. And it's good to start doing that from the get-go so that way you are running ads confidently rather than just kind of shooting in the dark sort of thing. The other one is obviously product market fit, and it goes without saying. So once you have those two things, you can easily scale. And the first thing you want to do is test your ads. And that's the first thing you want to do with Facebook ads is just test. We'd recommend kind of spending your average order value on a daily basis to test out with, because you can't, like everyone used to say like $1,000 a month, like it just depends on your product price. Because if your product price is $500, $30 a day ain't going to cut it. Like you ain't going to get any results. So you want to be spending your average order value kind of on a daily basis to find out what's actually going to work for you, and then you can get data back very quick, like very, very quick, so you can scale quicker. One thing what we recommend doing is once you understand your strategy, you need to build out a strategy before you even start looking at content. So identifying what's your daily spend. Let's say it's $100 a day. You want to allocate this portion to this funnel, this portion to that funnel, this portion to that funnel. So let's say you've got top of funnel, for example. You only be spending $80 a day to the top of funnel. Let's just say you're a new brand, and then you can spend $20 for middle funnel retargeting, and then ignore the bottom of funnel for now because you're a new brand. But once you have that $80 a day budget, you understand what kind of content you need because you need to allocate a certain amount of daily ad spend to creatives rather than spreading it thin. So at that point, you can then split it into $20 a day for each 4 different creatives essentially, or you can have 8 different creatives at $20 a day. It just depends on your AOV once again. And I'm just using $100 a day as like a easy way to understand. And then once you understand that you need 8 creatives, then you can say, cool, we have 2 creatives within one ad set, and then you times that by 4. So you've got $20 a day for each ad set. And then we want to put your top performing 4 products within these ad sets. And then cool, let's just say we have a blue shirt. We want to find out the top performing creators we've seen do organically for this blue shirt, and then we put them into ads. So that's how we usually go about doing things. And then what you can also do if you are using graphics is once you identify winning creatives that are working well, you can then split test loads of different angles that are going to trigger people to buy. Let's say you've got 3 of the same ad creatives, but you have a text saying shop bestsellers, and then you have another one that says new arrivals just landed, or like, I'm sure everyone understands what I mean, but like this is such a key thing, and a lot of people think this is like, well, I've not really heard opinions about it, but it works so well for us. And you need to understand what is going to trigger your customer to buy, because everyone's buying language is different depending on the product. And it's helped us massively understand what we can incorporate across all of the future creatives in terms of wording, because we understand what is working for the brand, essentially. So it's really important you guys also do that. And then for retargeting, we go heavy on dynamic catalog ads. They work so well because you're just running ads and they don't look the best. We always get complaints all the time from our clients that the catalog ads don't look good. But the thing is, they perform so well because ads are being thrown at your audience that are dynamic to what they've engaged with on your website. And they just perform so well. So that's just something we'd recommend, especially if you're only spending $100 a day. It works incredibly well. So yeah, that's like our advice. Focus on the very lowest hanging fruit in terms of your content, your products. First of all, you want to just be focused on products that sell. Clients were always like, yeah, we want to sell this product, we want to sell that product. But the thing is, we just want to make money. Like, what's going to work well? And like, we just can't sell products that don't sell, because like there's no product market fit for them. Hence why we do like to have a good product market fit. There's going to be products on your website that's going to be a golden products. There's going to be some of them that are just there for show, essentially. And we just like to focus on the ones that are golden products, because that's how you make money. And that's how all these big established companies rely on. Like, if you look at these massive corporate companies like Nike or whoever else, they've probably got like 10 different shoe designs that's responsible for 80% of their revenue. And 10 sounds a lot, but like for a small brand, it might be like 1 or 2, but it's not really based on how much products they've got. So you take away those 10 products, they've lost 80% of revenue, and they're just focusing on them products through marketing, etc., etc. So yeah, focus on lowest hanging fruit. Get really nitty gritty with the testing in terms of testing your creatives, types of content, like UGC, studio content, lifestyle content, iPhone shop content for that product, because some content performs better than others for certain products. And also your graphic design. Make sure your graphic design is on point, and once you identify the top creatives, you need to be not just running it and trying to increase spend on that ad. There's so much more you can do with the ad. Put different graphics on it and test out the graphics. Put different ad copies on it. Put different offers on it. Run it to different landing pages. Like, there's so much you can do once you identify what works. And that's what you need to be also doing to really see a high return, because you can get a free ROAS on a certain thing, but that certain thing can just be an image of a t-shirt, for example, where it could be performing incredibly well once you just put some wording on it and get a 5 ROAS. And then you can split test it against 5 other different wordings, and then you can get a 10 ROAS on one of them. And that way you're just slowly increasing that ROAS over time. So yeah, I've rambled on very long for this video and I've gone quite quick. But we are working with a lot of e-commerce brands within the fashion space right now and absolutely killing it, especially bikini brands as we approach summer. So if you have an online brand and you need help with anything Facebook ads, Google ads, TikTok, which is our core specialty, book a call with me within the link below. And we can identify, see what you've done before, see if you worked with an agency, because we work with so many brands where they've just been crushed by an agency and like burned down, and then see if we can implement some funnels for you guys going into Q2 and Q3, which is a fantastic time for fashion brands to make a lot of money. So yeah, hope this video makes sense and is valuable. And hopefully, if I keep this content up, see you guys in the next video.